good morning. You people are up normally during this time? Psychos. You guys are literally insane. Almost 9:30 my time, 10:30 on the east side. I think I got 2.5, 3 hours of sleep. That's fun. It's gonna be a weird day. I feel a nap in the daytime sometime. Maybe after the Yankee game. What are you guys doing? How you guys do last night? Pitching today, definitely a step up from last night. We're starting to see a lot of second time through the orders for pitching staffs. A couple injuries. Made a couple phone calls. Grayson Rodriguez called up. Shout out to the live chat. She Squill, Pojen, Stoner, Sinjin with the Gundacker Gaming logo. You just love to see that. ACP ducking DB. ACP, how are you awake? I feel like did you even go to sleep? Probably not, huh? What up, Mac Man? Here. What up, Jake? Alan? Hope you're doing all right. Jake says took down 10th in the $4. It's completely because couldn't talk me off a lock button. Fleming, bro. I was thinking about you when Fleming was getting smacked. I was like, oh man, I hope he backed up a little bit. Here. What up, Travis? What up, Edwin? 3 times off the quarter. Let's go. NBA saved tonight. Do you know what saved my night? I had some floating Mariners stacks. And I got a double dong from Teoscar. And a double dong from AJ Pollock. And without looking, some of you OGs, what do we know AJ Pollock for? He kills lefties. He had both of his homers, I believe, came off like Yame Berea out of the bullpen. Historically, I know Berea for being bad against righties, but I ran a little good there. But then that lineup kind of, it was a Mariners and Guardians stack, and it also had like Sam Haggerty and Andres Jimenez. So whatever. But what are we gonna do? What up, Shannon? Hope you stacked Mariners last night. Yeah, I did. Schwarber. Yeah, Schwarber was the unfortunately obvious homer. I think you guys that watched the stream probably saw me say he was gonna homer. Domingo's lefty splits. Schwarber's rating against both of the fastball and especially the curveball. Not a great day for the Yankees, but to me that was like a schedule loss. Like that looked like a punt lineup. Domingo Germán, we don't even have our A catcher. It is what it is. Today is a new day. There's some juice in those late games. A little bit. Jason Hayward. This guy. Dodgers, man. You guys just find random pastor primers from the league, you know, and squeezed every bit of the last few drops out of them. Another homer from Hayward. What else happened in the late games? Anything? Oh, the Athletics walked off on the Guardians. And for the Guardians, I keep saying, you know, their bullpen's one of their strengths. And I don't think so. What led to that? There was like an error that led to that, and it put somebody on second. So it is. What are you gonna do? A little bad luck. But then the night before, Seth Brown homers off of Emmanuel Clase. So it's early. What up, Dylan? What's the move for pitchers today? There's a lot of good pitchers. So it could be a pitching centric day where we plan or brace or expect on DraftKings to need 25 plus out of our aces. And the same for Fanduel, we're probably going to want 50-60 or expect 50 to 60 to be optimal. Cole lock button. Lock buttons in baseball. All right, let's do some research. What do we need to do? RunDFS.com. We'll do a plug for that. If you guys want to get into the spreadsheet, go to RunDFS.com. Put VIP memberships, week pass, 2-week pass, month pass, MLB season pass, and a year pass. That's what's up right now. And then I guess we'll go check out the weather. All right, so pull up Kevin Roth. I'll put a link to this in chat. If you guys don't have this bookmarked, you probably should. via Rota Grinders. Kevin Roth throwing that weather preview. Is Chicago Cincy on this list? I don't think it is. So no. All right. I think I typed the Astros games up. All right. Yankee game is just some light spotty drizzle. Nothing that stops play. Cold temps with winds blowing in from center. Boost to starting pitchers. Rays at Washington, warm temps, winds blowing out left center at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Bump to bats. You know else is a bump to bats? Patrick Corbin. Atlanta at St. Louis. Storms are clear by first pitch. Never come back. Winds blowing out to right center at 15 miles an hour. Pirates at the Red Sox. Off and on light rain. It never gets heavy enough to stop play, assuming they start to begin with. I think they will, but man, is this crappy baseball weather. Temp around 40 with a 10 mile an hour wind, making the wind chill value around freezing, plus off and on sprinkles. So wet, cold, breezy, if they do play. And again, I'm assuming they will, and would probably give us healthy heads up if they decide otherwise. The weather is a major downgrade to bats, cold temps, and wind blowing it from center. So I don't know what I guess they're just going to play. But even if they didn't, they still got all day. So they could just start delaying stuff if they didn't. Also, I don't know how long it's supposed to rain. Then the White Sox game, I don't believe is on this slate. Right? Oh, it is on the slate. All right, so one final line of showers should be clearing around first pitch. It may trigger a very brief late start, but the line is booking it, so there's minimal impacts, blah, blah, blah. It's windy in the Windy City with a right to left wind around 25 miles an hour or more. So that's our weather. Some ugly spots. Some. Got your Russo Judge in the lineup. Yeah, the more I was thinking about it, I don't think on Garrett Cole days you're going to see big boys get rest. So Judgey getting two nights ago, Judge fouled the ball off his foot. The Yankees had a decent lead, so when Judge hit a single in like the 8th, they took him out. They pinch ran for him, and then yesterday he DH'd. And Judge just likes to play, and I don't think you want to, especially since this is the rubber game. I didn't think the more I got to thinking, I was like, nah, they're not gonna not play him with Cole on the ball. You gotta win Cole games, and then you want to win the series. What up, Melinda? Hope you're doing all right. What up, big hitter, DFS king? Hayward hits another homer. Let's go. Astros better destroy Rodriguez today. Not a great start to the season. Yeah, but I mean, Astros are Astros. But Grayson's gonna be really good. I think he's the number 1 or number 2 on prospects that haven't been called up yet. I was looking at the top 100 list. I think it was 6th or 7th, but like everyone except the Mets catcher is already in the league. So, and he's the guy for Baltimore. So he might have some trials and tribulations, but somewhere in him is a good pitcher. We'll look into that. Number 7 overall. Yeah, he's number 7 overall. I mean, but I think everyone else is like already in the league. Oh, fudge. Top 100. Except I think the Mets catcher might be above him. They haven't started cheating yet. What's up, Dirt Dame? Wow, Shannon, you don't know about... Okay. So here's our full list here. So Gunnar Anderson, Corbin Carroll, Jordan Walker, Volpe are on the league. So I guess Francisco Alvarez, he's the next one. Painter's still young. He's 19 in AA. So we probably won't see him for a couple years. So Grayson, I guess, technically 3rd on this list of big boys that aren't in the league yet. So yeah, he's really good. He's their guy. He's their guy. Let's do some research, y'all. Let me get my confirm lineup page up. Let's see if we can make a tight player pool. I don't really have a time limit on this show, but I'll try to get you guys out of here in like an hour and a half, We'll see. No rush. Rays are the chalk. If they are, it makes sense. Oh, look at that. Get a pulse. Get a pulse. Yeah, Rays are the chalk. It looks like the Rays are lapping the field right now in ownership. That's Patrick Corbin for you. All right. No lineup out yet. All right. Rays and the Nats, first game on the docket. 8.5 OU. Rays with an implied run total 5.38, basically 5.4. Nats with a run total of a little over 3. Whew, I feel like I gotta sneeze. Shane McClanahan taking on Patrick Corbin. Man. The pollen count is up. Well, this one's pretty easy to dissect. Shane McClanahan, good. Patrick Corbin, not so much. Shane McClanahan, this will be his second start. First start, how many pitches do we see? 87, so he's essentially stressed out. Go get him 6. Unlike yesterday and some other spots, McClanahan's just an elite tier pitcher. And I know the Nats aren't as scrappy, or at least in this projected lineup, as I seem to remember them. A lot of 1 and 5s, so it's not like it's a bunch of 25-26% K rates, but still plenty of strikeout potential. Sounds like a Kybert Ruiz. So McClanahan's easily making the list, sub 9K on DraftKings. So we'll go work on our pitching player pool. I guess we'll start him as a 3. I might just throw all these crazy good pitchers in a blender and go like 25% each on Fanduel. It looks like we just got a Rays lineup. Diaz, Franco, Isaac Paredes, Randy Arozarena, Harold Ramirez, Manuel Margot, Taylor Walls. Jose Siri homered, I think, yesterday. Francisco Mejia in the lineup too. All right, so we'll green light that. So obviously I want to play McClanahan. I don't really have any interest in these Nats bats. McClanahan doesn't really have a weakness. You took him outside of Tropicana last year. He was still just fine. 30% K rate, 167 average allowed, 1 on the home run per 9. This lineup only has 1 power guy. It's Joey Meneses. Outside of that, yeah, no thank you. Patrick Corbin, he is bad. First start of the season came against the Braves and didn't go great. 7 hits allowed, 3 innings, no bombs. Did have a 9-3 ground ball to fly ball ratio. So I guess maybe we can go look at like pitch uses to see if there's a reason. But just all that contact is enough that, first of all, I'm not playing Patrick Corbin. Secondly, the Rays should go off, but we talk about, I think, like, so yesterday the Blue Jays, for example, right, one of those 20% teams, Vladdy, George Springer, oh shit, those guys were at really elevated ownerships, and when they fail, you make up a lot of leverage, a lot of ground on the field. And when pitching's as good as it is today, and you got to find places to get cute. For me, I'd rather get cute at the hitting spot. So I guess what I'm saying is, if I was minimal on entries today, and I'm not, I'm running a lot, I would probably consider fading the Rays in like 20 or less lineups. Or if I was that committed to picking on Patrick Corbin, I would probably make sure that the Rays are with a very low on stack, and I think I saw that the day before or I saw it yesterday. I saw a Rays and Brewers stack, which I thought made sense. Like, I respected that at the end. Not Rays. Was it Blue Jays and Brewers? It was a chalk stack with the Brewers. I think it was. No, it wasn't Blue Jays. But that made sense. And I'm not saying be that off the wall and asinine, But when I started looking at the lineup, I was like, yeah, no one was playing Brewers, obviously, and they turned out to be elite. Max got smacked. But that's what I'm saying. If you want to get to the Rays today and you're running like 20 or less lineups, you probably want to wait to distinct them from the field so that you're not holding hands. Because there's going to be a lot of ace pitching with Rays. And you also just might fade the Rays and try to catch up elsewhere and hope the Rays just are mid, as the kids say. First game for McClanahan. We want to, or Corbin. We want to look at pitch usage. For a chalky lineup, that lineup is not overwhelming. Yeah, it's more of the pitchers. I mean, it's not like there's nobody that I didn't expect in that lineup. I guess yeah, no, there's nobody. Fastball, 60% on the fastball, 35% on the slider. So he went 2 pitches against the Braves. Yeah, that's probably not gonna work much. Last year for Corbin, it's essentially the same 2-pitch pitcher. So, and both of those were negatively graded. So I guess what I was most interested in seeing is how he do so many ground balls. Or is it just a 1-game anomaly? He had a 64% ground ball rate in that game. 36% hard contact rate. So it's not crazy. That's closer to league average, right? We won't say like 38, 40, but I'm just gonna trust that maybe he got a little lucky. Because there's nothing in his velocity or pitch usage that's looking different. I guess like we could look at spin rates on the slider, but I don't think we need to do all that for this. We're stuck. If you're in on the Rays and you got that FOMO, you're not gonna leave. You're gonna stack the Rays. No one's gonna play Corbin. We're gonna play McClanahan, and that's all I got to say about that. So we'll add the Rays to the stack list. Anything from you guys on that game? Brewers hit 3 in a row on Scherzer. Yeah, that was wild. And then Brian Anderson and who else? Help me out. There was 2 double dongs from that team. Webb is only 7.5K after 12Ks on the Yanks. Smells like a chalk SP2. You think so? I can look. I felt like we might have modest ownership on pitching today since it is. I think Grayson Rodriguez at 4K is like so hard to not. It's gonna project crazy. As far as chalk SP2, no, Logan Webb is not chalk. He's far from chalk. But I'm not anti-Logan Webb here. And yeah, he looked just fine against the Yankees. A couple blemishes. Garrett Cole, Christian Javier, Jacob DeGrom. Those are your elevated ownerships. Everything else is kind of modestly spread out. Coley's probably over-owned. What are you gonna do? What up, Danglies and Mofo? Good morning. Yo, you California cats are even more psychotic for being awake. This normal for y'all? What is it, like 7, 6? I don't know. Rather go Javier over Webb. So Dan, I'm looking at higher ownership projections for Javier over Webb, like significantly higher. Like 15 times higher. So if that was just an ownership dot, not as high. Gotta be used to being up early over here. Why? I don't know. I've always wanted to be someone who could go to sleep at night and wake up early. It just never is. Even in my professional work days when I had to clock in for a living, it was always like night shift stuff. McClanahan's K rate has dropped. Has it? Strikeout per inning. I don't know, man. I I mean, I'm assuming you're not going off of 1 game sample size. Let's see, game log, plate discipline. He had a 17% swinging strike rate. If the results haven't been there on the strikeouts, it's not anything that I would be worried about. He's whiffing at a high rate. West Coast game started 10 for them. Yeah, I guess you guys are used to that stuff. I do kind of envy you guys for like other sport. Like if I didn't, I don't know, I've never been really west of Texas, but to have games start, like I guess NFL probably starts a little too early, 9-10 a.m. But like to be able to watch baseball in the afternoon or basketball games, I guess that's kind of a plus. Not playing rates bats. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think, like I said, if you're running 1 to 3 lineups, you're kind of giving yourself a mathematical, I want to say, I think that's a disadvantage to hold hands with 20+% cumulative of the field. Thoughts on Luzardo and Nola? We're going to talk about Nola here. I'll go DeGrom and McClanahan. Phillies at the Yankees. Aaron Nola taking on Garrett Cole. Phillies finally got on the board yesterday. We did get a Washington lineup. We'll go back for that. No, we don't need to go back. We don't care about that. We'll update it in a little bit though. 6.5 run total for the game. 3.6 run total for the Yankees. 2.9 for the Phillies. I'd be somewhat okay with flirting with the over on that run total. Overall, Aaron Nola, let's have a conversation. I think I recall in his last spring start against the Yankees, they smacked him. Went 3.2 against Texas, 5 earnies, a bomb, 4 hits. I think that's the day they popped the lid. Was he up against DeGrom that day? I think he was. Was he? So he gets DeGrom and Cole in his first 2 starts. Unlucky. Honestly, unlucky. And then let's go pull up his spring stats. I know the Yankees got to him pretty hard. And then let's also look at that game's metrics. As far as moving past the limited sample size no matter what, and start elongating into like his more bigger body of work going to the beginning of last year, we know Aaron Nola is good. We know he can be one of the best pitchers in baseball. So if you wanted to play him against the Yankees, we've seen the Yankees strike out. 6.9% swinging strike rate, a 53% first pitch strike. Those are things you don't want to see. What about pitch type? Again, 1 game sample size. We're not going to overreact to curveball and fastball. So when a curveball is not spitting or spinning, let's go look at that pitch report. Nobody. Pretty linear. Alright, spring training. So what are you guys thinking on Nola? Are you guys waiting to see it? I feel like on this slate, with as much good pitching as there is, it's fair to wait and see. It's not like a Nola great game. If we simulate this slate, Nola probably doesn't dust Cole and McClanahan, all those other guys. We might have a similar range of outcomes for the top 5 projected pitchers. So it's kind of like last night. Although last night, maybe with Luis Castillo, kind of said the same thing with him last night. Thinking about what else was on the slate, Max and Framber. Max had a Super 4 game. Framber didn't scoop the win, but he was fine. And then Castillo was able to go out there and do his thing. So maybe. But in that last spring training start against Detroit, 1 hit, 1 earning, 1 bomb. That's what you want. The start before that against the Yankees got smacked around. Let's see, 10 hits in 9 innings, 5 bombs. Good God. He's having a home run problem, looks like. Has given up a homer every time he's thrown a pitch since spring training. And today he gets the short porch and some boppers. But he is under 8K. So a more like reasonable expectation, maybe like 20, 24. Like, it doesn't kill you at that price range theoretically. But like I said, I do think this is a double barrel, potentially double barrel 30-point upside out of your pitcher spots. But there's some big boys. So even if he squeezed into 20, I don't know, like, it's not going to kill you, but maybe you want more. But I think what I'm going to say is I'm not going to play Nola, but I would not push back on anybody that did want to play him, expecting him to get right. I'm willing to say if he got right today, he may not be a must-have. You know what I mean? And then as far as the Yankee stack, projections may not like push the Yankees too much. But I guess if you're gonna fade Nola, you're kind of assuming that he's not gonna be locked in here. So I'll probably get to some Yankee stacks, but asterisk, you know who's talking. I'll probably always stack Yankees. This is their A lineup except Stanton. Stanton has a day off. Okay, that's what I got there. What's Yankee ownership looking like? I think there's only a couple teams you have to worry about, and then after that, you're on you're chilling. And it's the Rays. Yeah, it's basically the Rays. Everything else is kind of spread out. Yankees have the second. The Yankees are tied for the lowest owned team. That alone is like, you gotta play that. You just got to. But it does fall off a cliff. I think Judge, Rizzo, Glaber's been looking fine. DJ, he had 2 warning trackouts, and then he finally got one to jump the wall. So his bat looks pretty good. And he's a guy that he's a hard strikeout anyway. So if I had to make a Yankee stack off the top of my head, I think I might go LeMahieu, Judge, Rizzo, and either Glaber or Volpe if I needed just 4. But you could make a case that getting the Volpe over Glaber in that mix, if you just needed 4, works. Because Volpe will draw his walks and steal some bases. So yeah. Yankees ultimate boom bust shutout last night till the 9th. Nola looking shaky in the spring. Yeah, the lineup last night for the Yankees. I mean, Jesus H, bro. There was a lane of Aaron Hicks, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and Kyle Higashioka. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? But yeah, they could bounce back. Hey. Richard, thank you for the sub, brother. Hope you're doing all right. Could see a Rizzo bomb, yeah. Max didn't play last night, according to my 0. Hey, man, at least he didn't give you negatives. Do you remember your first big win of Fanduel? What was your reaction? I do, actually. It was a Saturday all-day NBA slam. And back then, payouts was a little bit flatter. And I hand-built lineups. And it was my first year. This is actually what's made me pro. Ever since then, I haven't worked a job. I literally quit. I was doing like DVP as my DVP in points per minute, and you gotta understand, back then, like there was no Awesemo, there was Roto Grinders, there was nothing. So like NBA was a lot easier. And I remember Nikola Mirotic draw a spot start. And then I want to say I played Alexei Ajinka. You guys remember that name? And yeah, I finished. I think I made like 15K that day. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to work Monday. And then I just kept crushing it. And I wish that we can go back to those days, because I didn't. yeah, I didn't have a sense for how easy it actually was versus what we're dealing with now. Now NBA DFS is like such a hard grind. Back then it was so free, bro. It was so free. There wasn't like news outlet. You just had to like track and when a guy got ruled out, he would still carry ownership. His backup would be low owned. You don't get that these days. But yeah, that was, man, that might have been 7-8 years ago. Hey. DJ, thank you for the sub. Hey, where are we at on subs today? We started yesterday. I think we grabbed almost 20 new subs. We started at 8,602. So first of all, thank you guys for 8,600, and then now we're at +6 already. So 6 subs on a Wednesday morning. Thank you. Where Stan was playing, yeah. Stan like sneakily like kills elite pitching. Sneakily. Everyone's on the same plate. Yeah, the news outlets and so many great resources. The rake has dramatically increased. It's very hard to beat NBA. Steven says hit the thumbs up for this great game. You're going nuts right now. Base the Wolf, thank you for the sub. Run those likes. Yeah, I appreciate that. So what, baseball? Yeah, baseball. Baseball's great. It's great. All right. Garrett Cole on the other side. I'm sorry, man. We're rambling. 32% K rate for Garrett Cole, 2.7 Sierra, 3.31 expected ERA. In that first game, he looked sharp against the San Francisco Giants. Jose Trevino took last night off to be there for him this game. There's still a Schwarber concern. There's a Trey Turner concern. Like, I don't think it's a lock after one great game that he's going to do well. But the 18% swinging strike rate is what you like to see. The 81 to 82% first pitch strike, that's what you like to see. We've talked about how beat up this bullpen is, and how beat up this starting rotation is. So he's a guy, and I made this point with Nestor Cortez. Go get 6-7 innings out of him if you can. And I think if he's cruising, I think you will. I think his pitch count is going to be amongst the highest on the slate. His leash is the longest on the slate. And then looking at the bullpen usage, I know the last 2 days we've seen Loaizaga, we've seen Clay Holmes, we've seen Michael King yesterday. I think today we might see Wandy to back him up. Ron Marinaccio is pretty good. Those are the two I think we see today, if the game's neutral. And maybe a Clay Holmes, but I still think that he's missing what they're looking for. And then maybe a Loaizaga. So if he only goes 6, I expect Wandy and Marinaccio. If he goes 7, we might just need to fill 2 innings, and then I think Laza might close, and then either Wandy or Marinaccio get called in depending on where they are in the lineup for the Phillies. But yes, we're playing Garrett Cole today. And as you might expect, with Garrett Cole having 40% ownership, the Phillies do not have any ownership. Right? Phillies are bottom 3 in ownership. So I think, if you just want to play Brewers against Max Scherzer, range of outcomes here, this is a talented team on paper. JT Realmuto took yesterday off as well. So if you had a Trey Turner, Schwarber, Realmuto, like if you were running 50% Garrett Cole, running 100, 150 lineups, yeah, I'd have a couple hedge stacks stuffed in my back pocket just in case all hell broke loose. And there's some talent here. So both sides of the fence. If I only had to make one decision, I'm going Garrett Cole. But definitely multiple ways to skin a cat here. Yeah, nope. You're a prison guard or something like that at the time? No, at the time I was, believe it or not, I was a contractor for the federal government. But it was like call center stuff. And it was just not fun. I used to work in prison though, before that. Way before, about a year before that. Might be stacking Giants today with that win. What up, Trey? Thank God you're here now. Stochastic Slack on the MLB show. Yeah, I like that show that Neil does is very insightful as far as process, and I think that's kind of the way that they're going, is that Baseball's more of a math problem than needing to, and it's fine. But I just like baseball, so I like researching the slate and kind of make some humanistic decisions. But I understand both sides. What do you think about Scherzer yesterday? That's baseball, Susan. It happens. I'll be back to max next start probably. How can we help you get more subs? Because your content's criminally underrated. 1, thank you. 2, engage with the videos. Thumbs up, comments, subs. All that stirs me in the algorithm. That's about it. I appreciate that, though. I do. Less bad teams to target with pitchers this year. Ownership with pitchers. There's less good pitchers, it feels like, right? We're in the second starts here, and it felt like 2 slates. I was confident with my pitching, right? We just went like there's a big skill gap between the top pitchers and meh. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that it's less bad teams or more mediocre pitchers. Rangers against that rookie, Brewers against crappy Peterson, or Giants against Cease. All interesting. If you guys would, keep an eye out for a Rangers roof report, because that matters. All right, Marlins hosting the Twins. Pablo Lopez taking on Jesus Luzardo. Twins have an implied run total of 3.6. Marlins at 3.4. They're in Miami. Pablo, a little revenge. 3.75 expected ERA, 1.17 whip, 23.6% K rate, 12.7% swing and strike rate. All that is fine, right? This is usable stuff. He might get lost in the shadows of the rest of the slate, but at 7,400, just in a vacuum, those are good. Those are fine numbers. And then you put him in a plus park that he's familiar with. And then I guess we'll also keep an eye on the roof status for Lone Depot. And then the Marlins throwing out Jesus Luzardo. We saw him against the Mets in his first start. He's another like just fine pitcher that also just might get put in the shadows of the upper echelon guys on this slate. But I think he's another guy probably expect a strikeout per inning. Yesterday the Marlins did CGSO, and what that usually does is reset the bullpen to where they could be quicker. I won't say quicker, but they'll probably be less married to Luzardo going longer. So I think if he went to 6, they'd be happy, and then maybe turn it over to the bullpen. But it's not like their bullpen's elite. I think AJ Puck is the only guy I could think of out of their bullpen, really. But knowing that both these guys are stretched out and have a shot at 6 is fine. If I wanted to, I don't think I'd take the risk with Luzardo today, just because this Twins lineup looks really good on paper against lefties. A lot of 800 to 900 OPSs, a lot of 200 plus ISOs. Bomb detector really loves Byron Buxton. Doesn't mind Miranda, Kyle Farmer, but at the same time, there's half and half, right? Some tough strikeouts and some guys that strike out a lot. So again, range of outcomes. How many times does Jesus Luzardo today put up a top 3, top 4 fantasy score? I don't think it's that common. I don't think he takes your lineup. And on a different slate, I'd probably take some more chances here. Right now, I'm probably going to look from the outside. And I would say if they say that the roof is open, then I would definitely not be here. And then on the Twin side, Pablo Lopez, kind of the same thing. But I'm a little bit more inclined to get to Pablo just because the matchup is good. His 24% K rate, 13% swing and strike rate. There's a lot of 1-4 to 1-5 Ks, a lot of closer to 1-4s. Only Gene Segura has a strike rate in the teens against righties, and he combines that with almost no power, right? No one in the bomb detectors breaking the 3.6 here. So at 7.4 K, I think if you're managing 100 plus lineups, Pablo could make some spots at a SP2. I wouldn't think you're crazy to take some shots on Luzardo. I just think the matchup's a little bit more menacing, so I'm not that enthralled with it. And then the Marlins also only threw out 2 lefties, Jesus Sanchez and Jazz Chisholm. And if you isolate Pablo's righty splits, we can amp up his K rate to 30%, right? With a 45% ground ball rate, 2.87 xFIP. So this right here is really, really good stuff at that price point. So I do think Pablo Lopez is worth the click on DraftKings all things considered. He went 85 pitches last time out. Yeah. So let's put him in the pitcher pool. Pablo Revenge. For you to do some guessing outright game score, would you do Jesus H? Outright game scores? That's tough, bro. I mean, that's like impossible, right? I don't know. 3-1 Yankees. Gotta think like Ricky Bobby in DF and MLB if you ain't first or last. Yeah, you don't have to be that aggressive. But it's so in baseball, it's so easy. Like remember opening day, the Braves were like 40% owned. Like even if it works, the right move is always in baseball in a big slate. Fade half of the field, playing those plays. So, you don't always like I know the Brewers went crazy yesterday, but you don't always have to play the 1% stack against one of the best pitchers on the planet. You just avoid the high, the heavy ownership, and if they flop or are mediocre, you just hope you pass them. It's kind of like the same. If you guys put some time into playing showdowns a little less about building optimal lineup and more about building unique lineup, right? It's not 1-to-1, obviously, because baseball has so many combinations of a lineup that even with a chalky stack, you can still be unique by just shuffling it with the low owned stack. But it opens up the mind a little bit more to not be as scared to fade a 40% owned Ronald Acuna or somebody like that. Like, what if he homers? What up, AJ? What's up, Josh? Good morning. Is Garrett Cole chalky today? Yes. Braves stack. Michael looks bad. Yeah, Braves against a contact pitcher. I'm always in on that. Card stack can be good. I'm always a sucker for the card stack. Atlanta money line. I don't know. That can't be good. Or maybe against. I'm gonna say good odds. All right, let's move on from that game. Lil Pablo. Not really. I guess. Would you guys be okay with some twin stacks? It's not a part that I'm in love with, but a lot of power, a lot of 4s ish on the bomb detector. Let's go look at that bullpen. Luzardo did lose his own a little bit last game. They have Matt Barnes, Braxton Garrett. They got a couple lefties that might back up Luzardo. AJ Poop, Puck, Tanner Scott. Tanner Scott is due to pitch. Puck hasn't pitched since Friday. Maybe the twin stack could be fun. Who's the pinch hit guy for Gallo? Jeffers? No, Jeffers is probably catching, huh? Donovan Solano, maybe? I don't know. Don't play number 1 stack with chalk pitchers. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like today's the Rays, 20% owned. Well, if you like the Rays, you should make a distinction or make your Rays exposure distinct and unique as much as possible. So maybe you don't want to combine them with Garrett Cole because he's 40% owned. Maybe want to set a rule. I know there's a 2-stack rule on Cruncher where you can minimize or zero out how often 2 stacks are used together. So I think the Pirates are number 2. Don't put them together. You know what I mean? You can still get unique with chalk in baseball. Just people don't seem to do that. It's also like you can play chalk in cash games and hope for the best. Embrace the variance, yes. I had a sweat last night with a 0 in my lineup from I forget who. But that's the beautiful thing, right? You get a 0 in NBA, you're dead. Like you're drawing dead. So I embrace the variance. I love the variance. We got Braves and the Cardinals. It just lagged. There we go. Braves lineup is out. Ronald Acuna, Matt Olson. All right, Austin. Austin Riley, Travis d'Arnaud, Michael Harris, Ozzie, Marcelo Zuna, Eddie Rosario, and Orlando Arcia. Didn't he homer yesterday? I want to say he did. No lineup for the Cards, at least not that I see. Yeah, I don't see a Cardinals lineup. Eloy Jimenez, the 10-day. All right, cool. Bryce Elder taking on Miles Michaelis. I gotta tell you, I'm not gonna pitch either pitcher. 4.25 expected ERA for Elder. $1.25 on the whip. Can't strike out lefties. We'll see what the Cardinals do. This would probably be a Nolan Gorman, Alec Burleson, those type of guys. Ground ball rate's elevated. And then Miles Michaelis, pure contact guy, 3.89 on the expected ERA, sub 20% K rate. 1.2 on the home run per nine. And against righties, a lot of righties here. So just based on contact pitchers versus what's on the slate, no reason to touch either one of these guys. And then we get to the offenses pretty often, right? Cards lineup is out. I must have missed it. Did it like just come out? All right. Play Garrett Cole today. What up, Damien? Yeah, I do. But like I said with the Rays, Garrett Cole's even chalkier than the Rays, by the way. So half the field is gonna have him, right? So I like him. It's easy to get different in the field, and that means something on this slate. Also, it's easier to get different on this slate because there's plenty of great pitching for half the field to be tied up in Garrett Cole, you know? What up, Vic? I am the variance. I am the variance. Hey. Thomas, what the sub? Thank you. You guys are killing it. Bro, this is twice. I did this on Saturday morning, too. I was worried that a early stream wouldn't gain any traction, but you guys out here crushing it, man. I kept wanting to hit that snooze button. Nolan Gorman batting 5th. Dylan Carlson, Jordan Walker, Tommy Edman, and Andrew Kisner. So Kisner over Wilson Contreras. Still a good lineup. They put more lefties in it too. It's you guys have been paying attention to the Cardinals last few years. I don't think I've seen them be this lefty in a long time. Wow, and it's not even just like get me over lefties. Like these are Tommy Edman is still a bag. Carlson, whatever. Nolan Gorman's got pop. Alec Burleson. Brendan Donovan's been really good. Yeah, man, it's a nice little balanced lineup here. So I think we can stack this game. I'm gonna go Braves. I'm gonna go Cardinals. Don't need to overanalyze the pitching here because I'm not touching either one of these pitchers. What bats would I stack for the Rays if I had to? So again, they're really chalky. So, but on paper, against Patrick Corbin, we really want the righties with power and Wander Franco. So 1 through 4. I mean, look at the ISOs here. Would be the first clicks. I think as you get to the bottom of the lineup, you might be risking some platoon stuff. But Yandy Diaz, Wander Franco, Isaac Paredes, and Randy Arozarena, those are the boys. But if you're just running one lineup, Thomas, you're probably doing yourself a game theory disservice to stack the Rays. Like if you're watching and it's not single entry and you're playing like a 50K, 100K to first, and you gotta beat 100,000 lineups. If you start your lineup with Garrett Cole and 4 Rays, you're probably not giving your one lineup the best shot to get up top, you know? Now, if you're playing cash or small field single entry, it's whatever. But even in small field single entry, I'd still want to not do that. Yeah. We get up daily to give us MLB content. Yeah, I appreciate that, Dylan. Usually I don't have to get up. Today I actually had to get up. Bill, put Siri back in your stack. Yeah. $5 a month for baller. Yeah. How many $15 lineups do you run a day? $5. So it really just depends on the day. Like yesterday, I knew I had dueling locks between NBA and baseball, and I have an obligation to be in Discord. I'm running 2 spreadsheets at the same time for customers, so I wasn't gonna try and task myself with 150 lineups. This morning I am, since it's just baseball. I don't really do. I'll do like the $5, the $15 max, unless I'm hosting like a group entry where we sell steak. I usually don't do that. Not at 150. Might do like 50 or something like that. That's another thing. Don't force yourself to run 150 lineups. I like running 150 in baseball more than basketball and other stuff, just because one lineup is truly all it takes. But I don't think I have anything on DraftKings today. I like Fanduel lately, but I do miss DraftKings. DraftKings Mini Max is really, really fun. I need to get over there in the next couple days and start, because I think today starts a 4 or 5 day stretch where there's a lot of afternoon main slates, and that'll give me more time to double dip. I was just trying not to spread myself too thin. Chat GPT, give me the best possible lineup. Small field, yeah, small field is like cash game ownership sometimes. Yesterday was wild. These bigger slates usually get crazy. Guys, we haven't had a core slate yet, bro. If this is actually your first season, wait for cores, man. Those slates get wild, and then you really gotta look at ownership floppage or yeah. But like, people should realize how cheap $5 compared to their daily action. Oh, for like the sub, I mean, the content's free, but yes, we do have just like a support membership on the channel that I think starts at the $5 level. So I do appreciate people that do that, but yeah, it's not like you need to get a paid membership here. Mets at the Brewers. Let's see. We have a Brewers lineup. And it is Mike Brosseau, Willie Adames, Christian Yelich, Luke Voigt's batting 5th. Anybody know who's batting cleanup? It's blanked out on my screen right here. Jesse Wanka, Owen Miller, Joey Weimer. Is it William Contreras? Brewers. Yeah, it's William Contreras. All right, cool. We got David Peterson on the bump taking on Corbin Burns. Burns has a 30.5% K rate coming into the season. It's going to be his second start. Last outing went 5 innings, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks. He's been in like a weird spot with the team, right? It's Burns, right? Burns is the one that they sent to what's the word I'm looking for? Help me out. Arbitration. And it's just like, what are you doing? I think he wanted like $7 million. I don't know what it was, but he wanted more money. And this guy could be one of the best pitchers in baseball, and they're fighting him on the money that they're paying him. I think he's had not the sharpest spring, a bumpy first game, but let's confirm or deny that. Here, what up, KJ? What up, Andy? Good morning. Quarter starts tomorrow. Oh boy. Think Burns bounce back? Yeah, I don't think he's gonna suck for much longer. Yeah, we've seen an increase in BABIP. Definitely in the dog days of summer when stuff warms up, some parks play way more hitter friendly. It'd be fun. It's good for the baseball product. I do wonder if the DFS sites start like revisiting their scoring format. I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with it, but it does kind of I don't know, flatten the curves. What I'm looking for. Home runs aren't as king as they used to be with the stolen bases and with more hits happening. So you can get away with, you know, a 2-hit day or 3-hit day, stolen base, stuff like that, which I don't think is a bad thing. I never did like that you have to have all homers to win. So I don't know. In spring, last start for Corbin Burns. This spring, right? Gave up 10 hits in 5 innings, 5 earnings, 2 bombs. Hasn't looked particularly sharp. 16 strikeouts in 19 innings pitched. Had 5 walks in those 19 innings on 23 hits. And then his first outing kind of picked up where he left off in spring. See what kind of information we can get from a vacuum standpoint. He is certainly somebody that is going to, or I would project to get back to elite status. But you could start thinking about why he's bad all of a sudden. Just an 8% swing and strike rate in that game against the Cubs. And to be honest, guys, the Cubs are probably less talented than the Mets, right? So that's not what you like to see. Let's look at pitch type. Any velo drops? 95.5 on the fastball, 87.5 on the slider, 94 on the cutter, 52% usage on the cutter. And last year, the average cutter velocity was 95. Yo, did I skip the Red Sox game? I might have to go back and cover that. I'm sorry. 95 on the cutter, 55. So I guess fastball maybe dipped a mile per hour, but that shouldn't really change a ton. So Corbin Burns' name value alone probably makes the pool. And 8,600 DraftKings, I mean, that's a double take if I've ever seen one. This guy, if he finishes the year at 11.5, 12K, I'm not stunned, right? So this Mets lineup that's projected doesn't have a ton of strikeout guys. So, like, if I had to make a short list, I think it's fair that Corbin Burns gets the bump because of what he's going through. But if I was running 100, 150, I do think a Corbin Burns blow-up game is pending soon, right? You like the under on Burns for Ks? What's the number on that? 7 maybe? 7.5? What a big Bino. Here. Is the ownership on DeGrom heavy today? Right now, when I looked at it, it wasn't. It was like Garrett Cole and then I think Christian Javier. I think. You notice that the games are also going by faster, a lot faster, and I'm fine with that. And I think I'm a reasonable seam head, right? They could have made no changes to baseball, and it's my favorite sport. It could be 4-hour games. I love it, but I understand like it. People like with, and I think baseball has a really good head start. I think WBC was beautiful. That might have stirred some interest in baseball, so people are giving it a shot. They didn't start the season with a lockout and the public's like, oh, millionaires fighting billionaires, blah, blah, blah. They're off to a good start. Hopefully they capitalize. As much does a team plays 150 miles from them, you know what I mean? Like, it's stupid. But progress is progress. I got 3 home run props I want you to look at when you can. Drop them in chat. I wish more games networks show the time clock. I think they will. David Peterson. So here's an interesting click. David Peterson does get strikeouts, right? 27.8% carry rate last year. We did see some strikeouts in a game against the Marlins. And even though Max didn't do it, the Brewers have a lot of strikeouts in their projected lineup. We saw 5 Ks, 5 innings for David Peterson. We also saw 8 hits and a bomb. 11 ground balls, 3 fly balls. So an 11-3 ground ball to fly ball ratio. We'd probably take that. And balls were just like bleeding through, right? This lineup right for the Brewers, look at this, 28% K rate, 30% K rate, 27, 26, 32, 38. That's a lot of 30% K rates. So like you could spin David Peterson as a clickable name with his strikeout prowess, but it's a risk. But I think at 100, 150 on DraftKings, SP2 spot with David Peterson may not be the craziest thing on paper. Let me see what his swing and strike rate was in that first game. %, so that's like not crazy. This is the problem. 54% first pitch strike. You're gonna want to clean that up because this is wasting pitches. You want to start getting ahead of. Is that always been a problem for him? He was 52% last year as well. So that's the risk, right? So that means his walk rate could be probably 11% walk rate to righties, 10% to lefties. So volatility is baked into David Peterson and his price, but the matchup sure is a tasty one. What's his strikeout prop? Peterson is 6 Ks. That's probably fair. That's probably fair. Anyway, so on DraftKings, if you had an SP2 spot and 100, 150 lineups for David Peterson, I don't think that's crazy. And I think less people are inclined to pitch against the Brewers after yesterday. So, cool. I think both pitchers are on the board. Stack-wise, I'm not really that enthralled with the Brewers pre-flop, but if yesterday played out, there's a couple big barrel rate guys, Willie Adames, William Contreras, Luke Voit, but you got to overcome a lot of strikeouts. Wander, Franco, Yancey, Springer, and Brian Reynolds. Yandy Diaz. So Wander Franco, Yandy Diaz, Springer, and Brian Reynolds. I don't mind it, but I mean, I do want to put this out there. If you're parlaying home run props, that's just crazy. If you're just taking them individually, whatever. But I don't know what the odds are on stuff like that. Brian Reynolds might be a little expensive based on the week that he's having. I don't know. Max got hit with the taco curse. Oh man. You think Rodriguez gets blown up by Texas? I don't know, man. We'll look at. I know he had a rough first start in AAA, I think, and maybe a not great spring, but he's another guy that's supposed to be one of the best young pitchers. I'm on that work grind. Throw me a couple stacks I can do from home. We're working on it, Nate. Right now, a couple games of research in. I got Rays, Braves, Cardinals. Rays are super chalky, so they're not a priority for me. But yeah, not just a parlay. Gotcha. In home run props, man, I don't know. I can't really speak on it because I can't bet. I can't sports bet here. And I read yesterday Texas might not even look at the bill, which is disappointing. So I really don't know how to speak, but I would say like it just feels like when I see plus 200, plus 300 for home runs, that does not feel worth it. Like you can 3-1 for a guy to hit a bomb. It's like Judgey hit 62 bombs last year over the course of 162 games. Like it just doesn't feel like I would be interested in a home run market unless it's like longer odds, 800, 900, 1,000, stuff like that. So I don't know if I'm the guy to ask. I could. The bomb detector is pretty doggone good, but I don't know that I would want to be the guy responsible for co-signing home run props. You know, like Salvi was number 1 or 2 on the bomb detector yesterday, and he flied out to the warning track. And it's just like, well, my research said that he would put the ball really close. All right, I skipped this game on accident, so let's go tighten it up. Pirates and the Red Sox. And we do have both lineups. We also did just get a Mets lineup, so we'll tighten that up too. Pirates starting lineup is going to be O'Neal Cruz, Brian Reynolds, Andrew McCutcheon, Carlos Santana, Brian Hayes, Jack Sawinski's batting since Sawinski's auto parts. He seems like a nice guy. G. Juan Bay got on the board yesterday. Jason DeLay sounds like a golfer. Put him in there. Mitch Keller taking on Corey Kluber. So immediately, I have no interest in either pitcher. 4.2 expected ERA on Mitch Keller, 4 on Corey Kluber. Either guy probably gonna get a ton of strikeouts. Pirates against righties, there are a little bit more strikeouts to be had, but I just don't think I'm getting down to a Kluber today. We'll look at Kluber's first start. Lowest EV ever home run props. I mean, there's a couple that I like. I don't know, but again, yeah, I probably wouldn't. Stolen base and home run props. Stolen base props last year, I didn't mind. But even that, it's just like there's so much variance. 7.5% swinging strike rate. Is that? Did I click Kluber? Or am I just dumb? Yeah, it did. Okay, 7.5% swinging strike rate in his first start. That's not what you want. Yeah, so I'm not really there on Kluber. I'm not there on Keller. So neither one of those guys can make the player pool. Keller, 23% K rate to righties. A lot of lefties in this lineup, so we can focus on that. 16% K rate to lefties. 276 average allowed. 10% walk rate. Does keep the ball on the ground. That's good. Defense has been the strong suit really of either team thus far. And then a 0.94 home run per nine to righties. So I just maybe expect another Fenway slop fest. What did Roth say about this game? It's going to be really cold and ugly. Roth said off and on light rain. So another notch for the defenses to deal with. Temps around 40 with a 10-mile-per-hour wind, making the wind chill value around freezing. So just ugly weather. And usually really cold, nasty weather like that, it's bad for offense. So I might just avoid this game overall. Get there in mass entry, but yeah, it's looking ugly. I sent you a DM in Discord a few days ago. Discord has this new request thing, and I never know. So if you're in a Discord, yeah, okay, I'll look at it. The best way to do this is like tweet at me and like let me know that you DM me if you're out there and ever need to talk to me. Discord, unless you're my friend, I don't know. It didn't used to be like that. I'll look for you, Jeff. What was your? Let's see, direct messages, message requests. I have 36 message requests. Are you young? Oh wow. Dude, I have a lot. Holy crap. I'm sorry. Somebody said I'm interested in the MLB package. Or MLB. I wonder if that was for the season long. Hey, gun, could you... Whoops. Holy cow, there's a lot of messages here. Young, do you want me to address this on the air? This seems like a good... How do you normally build DFS lineups? Do you always mini stack, or do you have your main stack plus one-offs? New to baseball. So, yes, always stack, always. Fantasy Cruncher, my boy James put out an article a couple weeks ago. He went back using their rewind tool, looking at last season, and I think it was like 52% of the winning lineups included a 5-man stack. So over a coin flip for a 5-man stack to be optimal, yeah. And then 4-man stacks even had like a 20+%. So stacking always, yes. And then on Fanduel, I bounced between a 4-4 and a 4-3 with a 4-3-1. So that's what I do. Listen, Lake, you can get this question end of show. Any love for Minnesota or Miami for one-offs? Minnesota, yes. Minnesota has some lefty hitters. Like Byron Buxton leading off. You get a guy like Byron Buxton for 5-6 implied at-bats. He's got a 4.42 rating on the bond detector, by the way. That might be tops. So yes, if you told me you want to one-off some Twins, Buxton's like snap call, right? The rest of this lineup, I mean, look at these names, yikes. But still a good lefty hitting team. I'm a little less enthralled with the Marlins for one-offs. I guess a leadoff Jazz. You know, he's got a decent pop, decent hit for average, but Not hit for average, hit for power. But I respect Pablo. I guess Pablo against lefties struggles. So I guess Buxton and Jazz if I had to one off. I know. Contrarian Gun recommending the leadoff guys that are 5K on DraftKings. Wow. Wow. Hit that thumbs up, guys. This is innovative. All right, let's get to the Orioles game. Orioles and Rangers. What part? Which part? Giants on the road. Are you talking about the White Sox part? Yeah. Orioles. No Orioles lineup. We do have a Rangers lineup. Marcus Semien, Corey Seager, Nate Lowe, Adolis Garcia, Josh Young, Robbie Grossman, Mitch Garver, former Twin great. Did have a double dog game earlier last week, this week, whatever. Earlier this season, we'll say that. Ezekiel Duran. 7.5 run total, 3.2 implied run total for the Orioles, 4.3 for the Rangers. Jacob deGrom, good at pitching. Grayson Rodriguez, good at pitching. Let's go do some open book research on Grayson Rodriguez. If you guys missed the top of the show, he's 7th in the top 100 prospects. 5 of the prospects in front of him are already in the majors. So I guess technically he could be top 3 in prospects that aren't in the league. Had a rough go of it in his first AAA start on March 31st. 4 innings, 4 hits, a bomb, and just 2 strikeouts and 4 walks. So completely lost the strike zone there. We go back to his 2022 body of work. Wait, that's not MLB. That's just MLB. Is it? No, it is MLB. MLB career stats. He had 296 innings pitched, 421 strikeouts. Literally over 120 strikeouts more than innings pitched. Pretty crazy. 0.96 on the whip. He is going to be, or he's expected to be, one of the best pitchers in baseball coming real soon. So we can look at that 4K price point on DraftKings, 7,500 on Fanduel, and knowing there's an opportunity for incredible value here, because he probably shouldn't be 4K. I think a fair market price for him and his pedigree is probably somewhere like 7K to start, right? So I do think there's some implied value to be had, and there is some strikeouts in this lineup. So I guess we play him. I guess we put him in the pitching pool. And then I typed Grayson Allen, y'all. Wow. Let's go look at. I mean, splits. Look at splits from last year. Does Aaron Judge hit a bomb off of Nola? Probably. No, I don't know. Maybe. It's not pumping a lot of minor info. Alright, year before. Yeah, it's just elite stuff. Did he pitch in spring? I would assume so. That's a dumb question. For me, the question is, do I play him on Fanduel? Yeah, this spring wasn't super sharp either. Some spots are fine, right? 3 homers in 15 innings. That's way more than you would like. But spring, we don't go crazy with homers allowed. People trying to just stretch out their arms, throw fastballs. 17 hits, more than a hit per inning. 19 strikeouts, more than a strikeout per inning. So that's probably the most important part for me. And then the 7 walks is not what you want. That's what, like a 45% walk rate. So we're playing with fire, but I think the opportunity is just too low, or the price for the opportunity is too low at 4K. We would definitely get to him on DraftKings. You probably have to drop a low ceiling, otherwise it's just going to give you a ton of it. Fanduel's the question mark. Fanduel's the question mark. And then we'll keep an eye on the roof status. We've seen them kind of toy with it. They opened the roof in DeGrom's last start, and DeGrom got hit up a bit. And I'm not saying that's directly correlated, but I don't know, man. I feel like I want to keep the lid on for DeGrom games. Like, you have to win. They turned around it and ended up winning that game, but man, DeGrom giving up 5 earnings, not part of the plan. We did see 7 strikeouts, no walks in that game. DeGrom's DeGrom. We'll double check his in-game swinging strike rate. I'm sure it was elite. When Jacob DeGrom is on and healthy, make no mistake about it, he's the best pitcher on the planet. He just has a problem staying healthy. 13.7% swinging strike rate, 76.5% first pitch strike. So that's good. Orioles lineup is very talented. We do have some pesky hitters, but DeGrom is just like above and beyond our normal pitcher. So at 9,500, 99 on FanDuel, I'm in. And at last glance, it wasn't staggering ownership on him. Let's take another look. At least not on DraftKings, and maybe even less so on FanDuel. And this is where getting contrarian without being stupid makes sense, right? DeGrom has a pretty decent chance to match or exceed Garrett Cole, right? So DeGrom is like 10% less owned than Garrett Cole on DraftKings. And on FanDuel, he's almost half the ownership. Not quite, almost. So, makes a little sense to want to be there. Get him while he's healthy. Any roof status? Lone Depot is going to open roof, so that's in Miami. So that's going to perhaps help our Byron Buxton infatuation. And I don't see anything about Globe Life. But a day game in Texas, if they pop the lid on that, they're kind of asking for it. People love cheap SB2, especially young unknowns. Popular when playing him. Spring was bad. Yeah, they should ask DeGrom if he wants the roof open. He might, but I wouldn't. It wouldn't be a decision. Your field is much more pitcher friendly when you have that field is much more pitcher friendly when you have the roof closed. Weather's not too bad. Is it hot? If it's hot, air flowing a little bit more, help the ball carry a little bit. It's good if you're trying to one off that game. I still don't like. I'm still not running to full stack that. We've seen the roof open and not score runs, but for a guy like Byron Buxton to be as high as he is on the bomb detector, and for them to have 3 lefties that could be called out of the bullpen today, kind of like Byron Buxton's one-off potential. Think Judge will get a homer today? I hope so. So we put DeGrom in the player pool. We put Grayson Rodriguez. DeGrom is, I want to say, borderline tier 2. He is tier 2, right? Like, you can make a case for tier 1, but I'm not going to go crazy. Tier 1 just means I want like 50% ownership, and I don't think I need to do that today. So that means I'm not as enthralled in the offenses. If Grayson has the big league jitters, maybe we get a crazy game out of the Rangers. Mitch Garver probably should be, if it was me, I'd probably put him a little higher in the lineup, maybe where Josh Jung's at. So like, I guess a loose case for the Rangers, but I don't think either side's gaining traction. Texas is actually, Texas is like top 5, top 6 in ownership. It's not like super chalky, but just people are playing rookie pitchers getting smacked game, and I don't think that's a bad, I'll say bad process, right? We stacking Twins gun. You know, so I do have to manage 150 lineups, so I probably get to a little bit because they do have some lefty problems. If I was managing 20 lineups, I think I'd be more so looking for the one-off here, right? If I'm running that 4-3 or that 4.3 or 5.21. I think it's just Buxton. I can't get away from the 4.42 bomb detector rating, and that's like with sample size, right? I know I still got to put the Houston game in the spreadsheet, but that's got to be like number one with. Yeah, that's Jesus H. He's like so far above. I mean, look, their sample size. He's batting first, and it's a 4.42. So if I don't stack the Twins, I'm still wanting Buxton liberally in my lineups. He's so expensive on DraftKings. He's literally more expensive than Grayson Rodriguez by 2K. It's crazy. Is DeGrom better than Garrett Cole? I would say healthy DeGrom, yes. And that's the inverse. Garrett Cole, as much slack as he gets for home runs and maybe not having the greatest games, that man is a Iron Man. Like the amount of starts and innings that he's so consistently offering, that's the trade-off. All right, let's move on. Where are we at? We're almost at 11, guys. I'm going way slower than I should be. I'm sorry. White Sox hosting the Giants. 150. I'm not hand building 150. It's not that hard. I got a couple games, so we're not that slow. Actually, I'm not doing as bad as I thought it was. I still have to type up the Astros game, but we'll be all right. Giants game. Lamont Wade, Michael Conforto, David VR, Jock Peterson back and cleanup, Mike Yastrzemski, Tyro Estrada, Brandon Crawford, Blake Sabal, Roberto Perez. That's confirmed. And the White Sox lineup: Timmy, Luis Robert, Benintendi, Yohan Moncada. Yeah, they put Eloy on the IL, so wonder what was the corresponding move, or did they make it? Gavin Sheets, Yasmani Grandal, Oscar Colas, and Elvis Andrews. We got Logan Webb up against Dylan Cease. So two good pitchers. Refer back to Mr. Roth's weather report. Right to left wind at 25 miles an hour or more. Is that cross the field, or does he mean? Let me see. All right, so I guess they could take some help some balls jump the left field wall. Well, we got two good pitchers. Logan Webb, 60.5% ground ball rate to lefties, 53% ground ball rate to righties, 21% K rate, 10.6% swing and strike rate last year. He had a ton of strikeouts in an opening game against the Yankees. I think he had 12 of them. Let's see, plate discipline, and 16% swing and strike rate, so that's good. That's not linear to, like, he's not a strikeout guy, but he's not a strikeout guy, right? But he's a really good pitcher. So I don't know what to expect, but I do think 7,500 is probably a little bit too cheap. Dylan Cease is a strikeout guy, 30.4% strikeout rate, 15% swinging strike rate for him. In that last outing, we saw 86 pitches, so 90 plus, 6 innings. And he had a 5-4 ground ball to fly. He had 10 strikeouts. I mean, yeah. And then we've seen the Giants put up some K games. And if you look at this lineup, only Tyro Estrada and Brandon Crawford have a sub 20% K rate against righties. So I think I think both pitchers are in the mix here, especially on DraftKings at 7,500 for Webb, 91 for Cease. And then with a lot of ownership getting coagulated on Coley, Javier DeGrom, Cease is in the single digits. Logan Webb is like really low owned in the projection. So they're way better than the ownership, I'll say. So we're putting them in the blender. We're doing it. Why did Corbin Burns drop from 6.5 to 6? because he hasn't been missing bats. If you like him, then take the value in your perception. But he had like a 7-8% swing and strike rate in his last start. So I guess people are pushing the under, which moved the line. But if you really like him in the spot, I don't think it's a pitch count thing. It's just he hasn't been missing bats. What up, Adam? He's still against DeGrom? I think so. Usually those power pitchers have slower deliveries, but I don't know. McClanahan gets the Tigers and Nats to start the year. What a gift. He gets 10 strikeouts. I like McClanahan. Webb's Webb is really low owned. Fanduel, we still appreciate the 6th inning ability to get that quality start. It would be nice to get the win. It's a little bit more up in the air, especially against another really good pitcher. But yeah. All right, let's type in this last game. Before we do that, take a pause for the cause. You guys want to unlock the spreadsheet, add it to your research. Go to rundfs.com. Click VIP memberships. You can look at a couple screenshots. We got millionaires in the Discord, 1,000aires, 100aires. No matter what you and your bankroll is, you can be balling on a budget. You can be going crazy with it. We got no egos. We vibing. We laid back Cadillac Jack. The last 2 nights, man, we've been in the Discord voice chat streaming baseball. I've been forwarding it. Probably not gonna do that today. I don't know. We're probably not gonna do that. I need to get a little rest because I only had 3 hours. But lots of fun in the Discord, and then I think that spreadsheet's really valuable. So week pass, 2 week pass, month pass, season pass, and the year pass. All of our passes come with a voucher to Fantasy Cruncher. So like if you got the $300 MLB season pass, that also covers the rest of NBA, the beginning of football, blah blah blah. It gets all things VIP. But I just put MLB season on that to kind of explain the time frame better. But you could rebate that down to $200 if you use Fantasy Cruncher and find some value in that credit. So go check that out. If you do upgrade, then click VIP portal, link to the spreadsheets, and link to the rundfs.com VIP Discord. Let's get the Tigers and Astros typed up. It's our last game to break down. Then we'll go back, tighten up some of these unconfirmed lineups in the spreadsheet and confirm them. And then if you guys have anything that you want to revisit, questions, comments, concerns, I'd be happy to knock that out. I want to give myself like at least 30 minutes to be off the air and make my lineups. Also don't want to be on the air opposite Neil, so I don't want to get out of here because I know Neil has a stream here in a moment. So I'll do my best to get off the air so you guys don't have to choose. Zach McKinstry, Ryan Kreidler, and then Eduardo Rodriguez pitching for the Tigers. That's a yikes. Astros against a lefty, Jeremy Pena, Alex Bregman, Hernan Alvarez, Jose Abreu, Kyle Tucker, David Hensley, Chance McCormick, Corey Jokes, Cesar Salazar. What is that? Is that real? Cesar Salazar? Tyler Estrada just got scratched. Cubs, Reds, delay, blah, 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 blah. Where's the Astros lineup at? Salazar. He's the catcher. Huh. Okay. Let's go see who that is. Cesar Salazar. Balling on a budget. Yeah, Tigers are and Javier was top 3 in ownership, so it's not a secret. Bro, is it just me or am I only getting MLB stuff right now? Let me go back to MLB.com. Actually, it's just 9-hole catcher. Let's go back and just look at his career body of work. You guys want to do me a favor? Hit that thumbs up. Can we get to 100 on a Wednesday morning? That'd be kind of cool. What our subs get to? 8615, bro. We got 13 subs today. That's crazy. Thank you. 253 hitter, 747 OPS, 33 bombs, 922 at bats. So just a backup catcher. All right, cool. Christian Javier, drawn ownership, but look at these strikeouts. A lot of red. Just Austin Meadows, under 20%. So Javier has pick of the litter. He strikes out both sides of the plate just fine. Does have a 4+ xFIP to lefties. So, like, you got to deal with that. But look at these lefties. I'd be just fine. We're playing Javier. So let's put him as a tier 2. And this is kind of linear to the ownership. But like I said, I'm way more likely to eat chalk pitcher than chalk stat. So, whatever. Astros against Erod. Erod, 18% K rate, just a 7.5% swing strike rate last year. Does have a start under his belt. What did he pitch against the Rays? I'm trying to remember. No, he hasn't pitched. Oh, that's Elvin. Hold up. They have 2 Erods, I guess, technically. Oh, it is Elvin. Oh, why am I thinking? No, it's Eduardo. Okay. Elvin's the kid that pitched against the Yankees, and they had a tell on him. And he just got obliterated. Poor kid. 5.1 innings for Erod. 88 pitches, 5K. So he did go a strikeout per inning. Was he missing bats? Let's see. Splits. I don't know. Game log. Play discipline. 9%. So a single digit swing and strike rate with a 57% first pitch strike. So even though he was a strikeout per inning, it wasn't like he was like really elite with it. Usually if you see like an anomaly when it comes to strikeouts and you want to see how or why it happened, I'll refer to the swing and strike rate or the called strike rate. And in this case, single digit swing and strike rate, I'm not too worried about it. So we like the Astros against the lefty. They have an implied run total 4.75. Bomb detector is on Yordan Alvarez, lefty. Man, you would think Alex Bregman, man, he used to be so much better. A 135 ISO against lefties in the last 2 years. That's crazy. That man used to be a lefty demon. Even Kyle Tucker has a high. And check this out. Erod last year, 1.62 homer per night to left-handed hitting. So he's attackable, but he's like reverse splits, which is kind of crazy. 300 average allowed to lefties, a 14% walk rate. This guy struggles more to get lefties out than righties. So Yordan and Kyle Tucker, people just don't like clicking lefties, but this is a really good matchup. Yordan already bats 300 against lefties and hits 250 plus ISO, almost 1 OPS. So good spot for them. We're stacking Astros. Man, I have to go back and add more stacks here. I do a better job of keeping track of the pitchers. So let's reset the bomb detector and sort it. There's not a ton of 4s today. Kyle Farmer has a 4. Man, Luzardo is really pushing some twins here. And with them popping the roof, I think I have to listen to the bomb detector here and get a twin stack. Judgy's number 2. All right, let's get some lineups confirmed in the spreadsheet. They're gonna have us that MLB app you'd be streaming for the games. MLB TV, they have several price points. I think it's like $25 a month, or I don't know, it might have been $200 for the year, something like that. What bats do you like from the Pirates, Red Sox? So just remember that game's cold and ugly, but Brian Reynolds, O'Neal Cruz stick out. And then Rafi Devers, you know, the usuals. Let me get these lineups updated. If you guys are heading out of here, just hit that thumbs up for me and double check and see if you're subscribed. Would you guys want to do this again tomorrow? We have like afternoon slates every day throughout the weekend from now. I did mention yesterday I have a family reunion this weekend, so I might not stream because we don't really do them that often. So tomorrow's tomorrow's only 6 games. Well, I guess they will probably leave the Rockies game. It's probably one of those spots where DraftKings doesn't have the Rockies games, Fanduel does. There's only 6 games. I tell you what I might do, since it is an all-day thing. Don't hold me to this, but maybe I'll put up a preview tonight, and maybe we'll do it live, but maybe we won't. And then Friday could be anything. Yikes. The schedule's so weird. They don't usually do this on Fridays. I think this is a good Friday thing, but I don't know. And the Saturday all day, not abnormal. So, all right, well, let's be flexible on the schedule. Depending on what they size the slate at, I'll may or may not throw a preview tonight. But let's go look at these confirmed lineups. Lane Thomas. I think somebody got scratched for the White Sox too. Alex Call. Jamer Candelario. Joey Meneses. Kybert Ruiz. Michael Chavis. Stone Garrett. That's a cool name. CJ Abrams. Alright, we'll green light that. Anything else we're missing? The Mets lineup. Brandon Nimmo, Marte, Frankie, Alonso, Vogelback. Revenge game? Question mark? Jeff McNeil. You're Jeff McNeely. Mark Hanna, Omar Narvaez, Luis Guillorme. Throwing some more lefties in here. Cool. Orioles lineup not out yet. What are the Orioles waiting on? Yeah, I don't know what they're waiting on. Maybe is Grayson? Is that transaction not official? It's official but not official. Maybe that's what it is. That they make a corresponding move. Because I think was it Bradish that they had that got injured. I don't remember. White Sox lineup was Timmy, Robert, Benintendi, Moncada, Vaughn, Sheets, Randall, Colas, and Elvis Andrews. Who got scratched? Somebody just got scratched from some team. Roof is closed in Texas. Oh, Estrada got scratched for the Giants. So we're looking at Wade, Conforto, VR, Jock, and Yastrzemski. Is that JD Davis? And what that does is replaces their lowest strikeout guy with the second highest on the team against righties. So Dylan Cease looks that much better, y'all. Like if I had to make a one pitcher lineup, but I just wanted to avoid the chalk on Fanduel, right? Just skip over Cole and Javier. Dylan Cease is probably the guy. Let me see matchups. Cease has 5% ownership, bro. That's the move. Look at this freaking lineup. It's crazy. It's nasty. That's nasty. I look like Vogelback. Vogelback does he have a beard? Maybe he doesn't. He is pudgy though. I'm probably way bigger than Vogelback though. Family more important. Yeah. I got people coming in from around the country. Literally got family coming from California, family coming from New York. So it's not just a family get together. It's a reunion. We got an Airbnb, so it's gonna be a pretty big thing. So yeah, I might. Bing bang.
Adam super chatted $10.
$10. Yo, Adam, appreciate that. They didn't come with a message, nothing. He just like, yo, here's $10. I appreciate that, Adam. Thank you. Appreciate the love, the support. Can you post the bomb detector on Twitter? Yeah, I'll do it. It's pretty quiet right now. Yesterday's bomb detector turned out all right. Stochastic trying to go live? Nah, I'm not trying to overlap with Stochastic. Y'all go watch Neil, man, next hour or so. We just broke down the games, so now you can break down the process with Neil. Rank your pitchers in the top and middle tier. So Alan, it's just like straight up points. It's probably as listed. Maybe Javi, but as far as ownership, the ownership that I have, the exposure that I have is going to be a little bit different based on ownership by the field, if that makes sense. I think Dylan Cease will be my highest on. Well, him and McClanahan would be my highest on tier 3s. And then I might just be evenly spread on Cole, DeGrom, and Javier. Orioles just came out. All right, good call. So we are. I didn't get it yet. Oh yeah, I did. Cedric Mullins. Adley Rushman. Man, Rushman, Katz, and Grayson. Maybe that's what Grayson needed. He didn't have Adley in his AAA start. Santander, Ryan Mountcastle, Gunnar Henderson, Taryn Vavra. Alright, Austin Hayes, Adam Frazier, Jorge Mateo. Yo, I'm sick of Jorge Mateo homering when I'm playing for stolen bases. No, I'm not. I keep doing it. Think the O's can beat up on DeGrom? That's baseball, Susan. Beat up is probably a strong word, but I don't think it's outside the range of outcomes. It's a very talented team that steals bases. Javier Chalky. Yeah, looking like DeGrom, Javier, and Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole at the top. Those are going to be the three guys that absorb the most ownership. And then past that, it's kind of more wide open. Roberto, you think I'm Roberto Perez? I'm trying to think. I don't have any doppelgangers in the league. I got the Funkasaurus. That's the main guy. I'm watching the Masters next few days. You won't see me. Well, I hope you enjoy the Masters. Tyler O'Neill got benched for lack of effort. Oof. I think I read about that. I forget what to play. Any chance Elder shuts down cards, bats? Bryce Elder? I mean, in baseball, yes. But Elder, I guess his path to success against this lineup would be a 50% ground ball rate. Keeping the ball in the park in spacious Busch Stadium. So, yes. But I think him shutting down the Cardinals doesn't necessarily mean that he'll be a good DFS play, if that makes sense. Because it's not a big strikeout lineup, and he's not a big strikeout guy. But certainly has some metrics that could keep them from being an optimal stack. Gaddis, don't be afraid. Gaddis, the pitcher? Or Evan Gaddis? Stay. No. The Neil show is very valuable, I promise y'all. But it is more so if you're managing a portfolio of lineups, which is fine. There's different purposes for it. Like I said, I love the old school analysis game by game, but I do also have to go make some lineups here in a minute. Here, what up, Adam? Yeah. You guys go check out Neil. But that's it. All right. So if you guys got anything else for me, Twitter.com/Gundacker. I'm gonna go build some lineups. I do appreciate you guys waking up on a Wednesday. Or I guess it's me that woke up. You psychos are already awake. Normies. We call you normies. You guys were already awake. We picked up 15 new subscribers. That's awesome. Heading to 8,700. So we'll do something for tomorrow. I might throw it up tonight. We might stream tonight. Might stream in the morning. Not sure yet. Depends on how they size the slate tomorrow. Rangers roof close, yeah. Thank you guys. Hey man, tell somebody out there you love them, man. I love you. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.